So apparently today it's a video making day, and I'm gonna be making few more. This one, it's about that confusion that we all get at some point about our ex-partner, and we come across several times a day to the question, so was he a narc or was he not a narc? How did that happen? Why are we asking this question? Because apparently you were in a extremely abusive relationship, and you started Googling around, why is he so mean? Why does he do this? And then you come across the information about emotional abuse, narcissistic personality disorder, or borderline personality disorder, psychopath, all the cluster B personality. And then you start reading, and everything makes sense. So finally, all the pieces of the puzzle are in their place, and you're like, this is what it is, this is what happened to me, this is the kind of person I was dealing with. And then you recall everything that happened in the relationship from the very beginning, and then you start seeing all the red flags that articles and YouTubers are talking about constantly, and you start saying, here, that happened to me, he said that exactly, and yeah, this is projection, and then you start learning and learning, and you finally come down to the realization that you were dealing with someone with a personality disorder. You talk to your friends about it already, your family, some of us become very open about the subject. uh, and you start your recovery process, your therapy. Now you finally know what you're dealing with, what is the demon in your closet, and you're doing pretty well. And then bam, your ex shows the world that he or she has found the love of their life, and now they're doing all the things that you wanted to do with him or that he promised to you. And it looks like out of a romantic movie, and he is this dedicated, kind, nice person to this new supply, um, new person. I hate that we call them supplies, because we were supplies, and no, we're people, we're not supply only. Anyway, and then you go into a shock, and you're like, oh my god, then what if he was not a narc, no matter all the evidence that I have that he was? And what if all the things he said about me were actually true? Like I was worthless, I was not good enough, I was not nice enough, all these things, and I didn't get them because he actually truly believes that about me, and this new person deserves all these things. Um, so to begin with, I have noticed from my experience, and also from listening and reading about other people's experiences, especially forums, uh, every new supply person gets from the narc what the previous didn't. So it's always like a step further that he goes into giving. So, or she. So if he promised a ring to you and didn't give it to you, the next one is going to get a ring. If she was promised a wedding, the next one is going to get the wedding. If the wedding one got the wedding, but she was promised a big house, the next one is going to get the big house. And it's almost like um, uh, um, a staircase that 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 he does or she does, but it's not an evolution. It's, in my opinion, what they think is like, oh, now for me to be better, I have to do what this previous one wanted to. So now I'm going to do it. Not to mention that they always want to smash the previous, the crazy ex. So they do things that they perfectly know that it can hurt the previous one. And remember, the previous one was not like long time ago. We're talking about 2, 3, 4 months of previous one. Anyhow, so let's let's just break it down. One thing is like, oh my God, so he was probably real when he said that he doesn't, that I'm worthless and that he doesn't deserve. I mean, that I don't deserve all these good things. I hate to say it. Yes, he was right in what he thinks at this moment about you. It has nothing to do with you. You're not worthless. You're not a bad person. You're not anything of what he says. But I do believe that this is something that he thought about you at that moment because he got bored. You're in the evaluation stage. It's as simple as that. Now, in my opinion, the question should be, it should not be, was he really a narc or not? Because it doesn't help you. Bottom line is, the diagnosis itself does not help anybody. The question for you should be, was it good for me? Was he good for me? Was he respectful for me? Was he nice? You don't need a diagnosis. I mean, yeah, I am going to contradict myself because actually, for to get out of the craziness and the what the fuck did it happen, we have to learn, but then I'm talking about, once you have learned, once you have been through the learning process and realizing what you were dealing with, and then the shock. I'm talking about that moment, not at the beginning. So for that moment, you don't need to uh, you don't need to label him, or you don't need an exact medical term. You can label him as whatever you want, whatever it sounds bad for you, but what you need to understand that and answer questions that are uh, concerns directly your relationship and his behavior towards you. So if he was disrespectful, if he was cheating, if he was lying to you, number one, that was his decision to do that. Number two, if he's happy somewhere else, let him be happy, let him live his life. It does not mean that he would be nice to you too. Your relationship did not work for whatever the reason is. Was he with a disorder or not? The reason, it really doesn't matter. It What it matters is that you were in an abusive relationship, you were not happy, you did not grow together, you did not feel fulfilled. You have nothing to do there. If he really changes, awesome. So good. We need good people in this earth. Uh, and if he's nice to someone else, thumbs up. You do not need him, the person who put you into a bad spot into your life. You don't need him with you. He can do whatever he wants. Now, was he or was he not? Did he change? Here's my opinion about it. When you're in a normal, healthy relationship, and the relationship it's over because of any reason, people fall out of love all the time. Does it feel good? No, it doesn't, but it happens. People fall in love with someone else while they're in a relationship. Does it feel good? No, but it happens. People even cheat, and that's horrible, but it happens. Then your partner can stop liking you. It probably feels horrible, but it happens. So how does a relationship that was based in real things, and it was a healthy relationship, how does it end? You can scream and you can be like, you know what? Get the hell out of my life. I don't want to see you. Bye. And that's it. Or you can have another scenario of people sitting, two people that hurt each other because someone cheated, the other one lied, and they just sit and said, I mean, cheat, sit down and said, it didn't work. I wish you good luck and I wish you happiness. And then everybody gets on their life path. Um, Some can stay friends, I think, after a while. The first 6 months, up to 2 years, even in the very healthy relationship, when it's over, I think there is a time that has to pass by for friendship to be formed. It is very possible. It has happened to me several times. And it's this feeling now that I see one of my exes, and or I hear they're happy, and I'm like happy, or I see them, and it's this nice the feeling of so nice to see you, nothing else, just so nice to see you. So these are like normal outcomes. When you were with someone who said, I don't like you anymore, and I'm gonna punish you because of it, or when you're with someone who on daily basis shows and proves that he does not care about you, but he does not want to leave you, when you're with someone who is happy to see your failures, when you're with someone who, when you have something important in life, some new achievement or a goal, even a birthday of yours, and it sabotages it and it makes it a bad memory, when you're with someone who would bring the worst out of you, or with someone who would just tell you all the bad things you are and would just lay down in the same bed with you, that's a disordered person. Whatever you want to call it, it's not a normal behavior. Because if you think all these bad things about the person you're with, and you, in my opinion, you don't have a disorder, you try to be happy somewhere else. You don't spend time in punishing this other person for not being the best that they thought you could be. You don't spend time punishing that other person for cheating endless times. You could be just this one time saying, you are the worst thing, and I don't want to use all those bad words on videos, but you can, we all can get very passionate and say bad things and say very hurtful things, and then throw something and leave and go, and that's it. But repeating that over and over and over again, it's because it's someone disordered. Put the label you want: poison, toxic, an ass. Put the label you want. And these kind of people, they don't change just like this. Most of them don't at all. Some can learn how to control their behavior depending on what the disorder is, but not on their own. It's done with therapy. It's done with most importantly, realizing their problem. If they don't, if you are looking at your ex who not only did never turn back to say, I had this problem, I'm going to work on it, or look at your eyes and say, we both were wrong and I'm going to try to do my best now. But instead of that, just keeps living their life talking shit about you and everybody else, and proving and wanting to prove with every single step they make that they were right. If they still fight the show, they were right, because everybody else was in fault and everybody else were these mean crazy people, but he was right and he's finally in a good place. It does Change does not work that way. Change does not work that way. At least in real change, you shut your mouth and stop bad mouthing people around you, especially very close people to your life, to like your parents, your kids, or the father or the mother of your kids. Change change it's a bigger movement in someone's life. It's never towards one person only. It never is towards one person only, or because of one person only. So keep that in mind. And of course continue working on yourself. And by the way, if you're in that shocking stage because you've been through recovery, you've worked on yourself and all this, and then you realize it's because you're probably checking social media and you saw what's going on with their life. Avoid that. One of the Richard Grannon's courses said something very, very good. Um, any and all communication, could be a form of abuse. Keep that in mind. By the way, get the course and do it. It's very good. It's about managing contact with narcissists. Was that the one? Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was the one. Um, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, you moved on, continue moving on. Don't stop. Meaning, um, don't look at what they're doing. Force yourself into not looking, because funny thing is, either they are doing everything possible because they know you would check, and they would put pictures up on Facebook, and and make sure that you see it. Either them or their new supply is going to make sure that you can see things, because remember, you're the crazy one. You're the one that ruined his life. So and you're the one that didn't see the beauty of this person. So it's if you check on their social media, most likely you're gonna find information, because everything. It's a pattern. It's a pattern what they do. It's a pattern what the new supply does. It's Now with social media it's different, but even without social media, we've all done certain things that are pattern for us as new supplies, and then as victims. We've all become good detectives. We've all have reached out to the ex. It's a pattern. So do that. And one uh, quote I would say I want to leave you with, and it's one of my favorite ones. I actually heard it about 20 years ago in a soap opera, believe it or not. But it stays in my phone. It's a quote that I have around me all the time, and it's probably one of the um, most important things that I've heard. And it says, "There is nothing else to be done when there is nothing else to be done." Keep that in mind. Embrace that. And regardless of what your ex or anybody else does, focus on getting better and getting your life back, and of you living your life. I hope you continue to do good, and I'll see you in my next video.